let's get into the Roto-World player news. Here are the notable injuries we're tracking. And, of course, for all your player news, go to NBCSports.com. We start with the Sunday games, and this is just part one, folks, so buckle up. C.J. Stroud still in concussion protocol. Same with Trevor Lawrence. Tyreek Hill not practicing with the ankle. Nico Collins not practicing with the calf. Zach Moss with the forearm. Kenneth Walker and Raheem Mostert. All three are not practicing. With Raheem Mostert, this is veteran rest for the most part, as it's been with him for a couple weeks now. Devon Achane still with the toe injury, didn't practice, although he played through that last week. Alexander Mattison still dealing with the ankle. He didn't practice, and the same could be said for Ramondre Stevenson with his ankle injury. Let's go to part two now for more DNPs. Brian Robinson still not practicing with that hamstring injury. Jaden Reed and Christian Watson, the notable Packers wide receivers, not practicing either. Watson, it's been a hamstring now for a couple weeks here. Levis with the knee injury, he is not practicing. Joe Flacco was limited with the calf. Aaron Rodgers on the injury report, we know he's not playing. Michael Pittman with a concussion, he is now back in a limited capacity. Geno Smith with the groin practicing full. Geno will be back under center for Seattle. Jonathan Taylor is the big one here, Matthew, with the thumb injury. He practiced in full. It looks like Jonathan Taylor will be back while Zach Moss is still not practicing.
Yeah, which is, great news as well. You would like Jonathan Taylor back against the Falcons in a game that he needs to win, that the Colts need to win to keep their playoff hopes continuing. And so this is great news as well, especially, by the way, again, you never want to root for injury, but I think that if I was a Jonathan Taylor manager, I would feel good about the fact that Zach Moss feels unlikely to play, and that now Taylor's only competition in his first game back for touches is Trey Sermon or, Tyson Goodwin, right? We decided it was Tyson Goodson.
Tyler Goodson.
It's Goodson. Yeah. Day three of Goodson watch.
Yeah. I don't know why I can't get that guy's name right. I apologize to
I hope he has
Goodson.
3 touchdowns.
To Mr. Goodson. I hope he does,
There's
too.
a chance he won't be
Looked
active.
great against Pittsburgh.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, but anyway, it feels like Jonathan Taylor is due, back at practice already, should get a big workload.
Yep. The only thing with Taylor is that, so when he spoke to the press just about half an hour ago, he had like a giant T-shirt wrapped around his hand and thumb, so like a giant kind of oven mitt situation. Look, I'm sure he'll be probably okay, but that is just one thing to monitor. Even though he is full practice, he says he needs to see how it responds during practice. So
yeah, that's probably just so people don't want to shake his hand.
Yeah.
He's probably a germaphobe. That's probably what that is.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
By the way, as we're recording, it's come in a couple of reports that today will dictate if Taylor plays.
Okay.
His practice today, how he feels with the thumb. So tomorrow we'll have a big update on Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, so you know what? Ignore what I just said. Well, we'll see tomorrow on tomorrow's Fantasy Football Happy Hour.
I like the Zach Taylor reference, though. That's if you handcuffed them.
Yes.
If you have both of them, you just say, I'm going to play Zach Taylor.
Coach Zach Taylor.
Right. There we go. All right, how about Saturday's injuries that we're tracking? Obviously, these are a little bit more pressing. Keenan Allen with the heel injury, he's still not practicing. We know Jamar Chase is not going to play with that separated shoulder. He didn't practice. James Cook didn't practice.
They keep holding out hope, though. I mean, I don't think he's playing either, but they won't.
James Cook, he had an illness, but the good news is, while he didn't practice yesterday, he is practicing today. So more on James Cook during Love-Hate. Kenny Pickett and Dalton Kincaid both practiced in a limited capacity, while Jake Browning, Najee Harris, and Pat Freiermuth all practiced in full. Back to Chase here, Matthew. This is one of those situations where it doesn't sound like he's playing this week, but it could extend further.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it looked like a serious injury, and so, I mean, I guess we'll see. The poor Bengals, by the way, if they can win this game without Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, I mean, like, hats off to, Zach Taylor, I think, has coached his ass off this year. I really do. Yeah. Especially, I mean, they started slow, and that's on him as well. But the fact of the matter is that he's rallied this team and got them. I think he's done a great job of coaching up Browning and putting that offense in a place where he can execute it and not asking him to do too much. Their defense is hung tough enough. So I think Zach Taylor's done a really nice job. I like them to beat the Steelers this week. I do think they can do that. I think that's going to be a close one. And I do think, because this is how fantasy works, that after a year of me just completely bagging on Najee Harris, right? Now he's playing for Jay's team against me in the final.
I got to start him as well. There's no one else.
Yeah, of course. He's got him 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's going to have a monster game against me because that's
the Bengals run defense.
Yes.
DJ Reader. I love it. Come on, Najee.
Yeah.
Stick the knife into Matthew and his tight top. Come on.
Exactly. Just get wrapped up with all the fibers and the threads here.
There's not many of them.
Right. He could twist it in there. Exactly.
All right.
You might not be able to penetrate with a knife. It's so tight. This is so tight.
It's true. It is kind of like
literally
Teflon.
armor.
It is a little bit. It is a little bit.
Right.
Anyway, So anyway, those are all the injury updates. We'll know a lot more tomorrow. And the other thing that's interesting here, that's helpful, fantasy football pregame Saturday 1 to 3 o'clock Eastern. So a special edition of fantasy football pregame before the Saturday shows, right before Bengals Steelers. That'll be on NBC and Peacock, and then that leads into, of course, Bills Chargers. That is exclusively on Peacock. I'm a company man. Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And so we'll be here Saturday, and we'll be able to get you up to speed, up to date with the Saturday games, all the Sunday games right there on Saturday from 1 to 3 right here on Fantasy Football Pregame. Use the hashtag FFPregame to get your question answered.
Turn on Peacock at 1 p.m. and you don't have to change anything.
You don't have to change it.
It's a
Just
beautiful
sit there.
thing until you go to bed.
Yeah,
at 1 a.m.
exactly.
12 hours of
Exactly.
Peacock.
12 hours of Peacock. And if you need me to send over an intern or like Penn State Blake just to bring you drinks, I will. I will do that. Just let us know. Just tweet at us. Tell us your address. I'll send Blake over there.
Okay.
He'll get you what you need.
Interesting.
That's
thing
the
to
most
say.
respect he's ever given Penn State Blake, distinguishing him from an intern.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for
Like,
you,
he didn't
Blake.
fall in the same
Rising
bucket.
up
That's a
in the
big
world.
step for Blake,
Yeah,
wherever
Blake's-
he is.
Blake's not getting credit for this.
Blake's not here today.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
worry, he's-
no. He's had enough
course.
once again.
He's
He
probably
doesn't make it
already-
to Thursdays.
yeah, right. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.